and welcome to Africa 54. I'm Joker Rogers at Channels Television here in Lagos. I'm joined by Esther Gitui-Ewart at the Voice of America in Washington.
Thanks. I'm Esther Gitui-Ewart at our global headquarters in Washington, D.C. Happy to be with you again for another edition of Africa 54. Let's start off with a look at Nigeria's agriculture policies. Joker Rogers in Lagos brings you that story.
That's right. For Nigeria to attain self-sufficiency in food production, there must be deliberate efforts, especially in terms of policies, according to stakeholders at a lecture organized by the Agricultural and Rural Management Training Institute in Ilorin, Kwara State. Inconsistencies in government's agricultural policies are responsible for the inability to achieve food sufficiency. Abdul Hakim Garba compiled this report.
Virtually every part of Nigeria has arable land, fertile enough for planting a variety of crops. Despite this potential, Nigeria is yet to attain food sufficiency, owing largely to several factors, including predominance of manual and subsistence farming. Over the years, several agricultural programs have sought to boost the agricultural sector, but inconsistent policies seem to be the singular major hindrance. That's the focus of discussions here at a lecture organized by the Agricultural and Rural Management Training Institute in Ilorin, Kwara State.
We must have a chief celebrant.
The keynote speaker believes that steady policy and funding of research in agriculture will go a long way in achieving food security.
Nigeria suffers from policy somersault, driven by high rate of turnover of programs and personnel. You can see the number I enumerated, and all of them seeking to achieve one thing: food security. So why do we jump from this to that, from that to that? And it appears that with every administration, we change the name, we change the direction, and start all over again. And there's no way we can make progress without keeping a steady policy on agricultural production.
The executive director of the Agricultural and Rural Management Training Institute wants the policy direction of the nation's agriculture sector to be reviewed.
What we have put up on the front burner this year is an invitation for all of us to do a collective review together. We want us all to have a kind of looking back, see what we have done as regards agricultural policies over the years.
But other speakers fault the existing agricultural policies.
Policies are made, I believe, for those that wanted to benefit from those policies. There wasn't a time policies were made for the farmers. When we talk of policies in agriculture, we are talking of agriculture. The policy is supposed to be for the farmers.
After deliberations, the general consensus is that beyond formulating suitable policies, implementing such policies must be prioritized.
Without further ado, I'd like to...
Joining us to talk about the impact of inconsistent agricultural policies is Dr. Olufemi Oladuni, the Executive Director of the Agricultural and Rural Management Training Institute. He joins us from Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So
I'm joining you.
All right. So one of the common criticisms of agricultural policies in the country is that they're usually formulated without seeking the views of the end users. That would be the farmers in this case. Could you highlight some of the differences that tailor-made policies would make?
Yes. When you talk about tailor-made, you are looking at policies that addresses the felt needs of the target beneficiaries. And the differences that it brings to the other policy that is not tailor-made is that, one, it is easy to implement. Policies that emanate from the people, from the beneficiaries, it will be very easy to implement. That is the first one. Secondly, it also leads to prudent use of resources. Prudent use of resources, then it will be you are also talking of quick results that it will generate because it emanates from the people, it emanates from the beneficiaries. That is the other one. Then you are also talking about ownership of a policy when it emanates, when it is tailor-made. People own it, the beneficiaries own it, and they are ready to implement it. And as such, the policy becomes sustainable and it can continue. At least I'm talking of continuity as you go along the implementation of such policies in the agricultural value chain. So these are some of the differences that tailor-made policy brings to bear on agricultural implementation.
So what areas, the key areas of the agriculture sector in Nigeria, would you say need urgent attention such that farmers can increase their capacity and production output in such areas?
Yes, one, you should be talking of access to quality inputs. It is what you put in that you get. Access to quality and standardized inputs, reliable inputs that will bring out the type of products that you are expecting from a particular policy. The other one is providing marketing platform where this commodity can be disposed of, like you have commodity boards. Platform that price will be stable for farmers to plan on. Platform that farmers know, or the producers, or even the processor knows that there will always be off-taker. People to buy it, people to want to utilize it. Then you also talk about accessibility to funding, which is a major problem of producers or even the processors now, all the stakeholders. So access to funding is an area that needs an urgent attention. Then you also talk about what I call a pull effect on agricultural production.
So finally, Doctor, what are the existing agricultural policies in the country? Do you think they're sufficient enough to guarantee the nation attaining food sufficiency in the nearest future?
I mean, policies can never be enough. It can never be sufficient because every day there are new developments, new challenges within the system, which needs new policy to address them. And I mean, so you cannot say we have enough because you don't know the challenge that will come tomorrow that needs a fresh policy to address, or that needs to refine-tune or address the existing policies. So policies can never be enough. What we need to do is to be consistent, and we should be ready to review and evaluate policies every moment. So we need more policies. It can never be enough, but what we need is that the policies must be consistent. Thank you
so much, Dr. Olufemi Oladune, the Executive Director of the Agricultural and Rural Management Training Institute. Thank you for joining us today on Africa 54.